Hey everybody, welcome in. Are you excited to have an adventure tonight? We're going to do a card making class adventure. This is Julie Max in the Maine Stamper. I'm here for your weekly card class from Maine, and I am excited to bring you something that I normally don't cover very often, which is more of a masculine themed card class. Now I know for a fact that masculine cards are really hard to create. I feel like flower cards, butterfly cards, if you loved my butterfly card last week, thank you so much. Butterflies, flowers, pretty things, super simple to make, right? Masculine cards kind of throw us for a loop, and I don't know if it's because most of us, hi Donna, most of us are women making cards, and we have women brains, right? So we like the pretty things. We like the pinks and the purples, and they're just easy to play with. It's harder to pull out those masculine colors, the blues, the grays, the darker greens, and create with them. It really is. Now, I have the whole Take to the Sky. It is the Take to the Sky. Hi, Kathy. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for letting me know we're good. Take to the Sky is a full suite in the new catalog, and I'm playing with the bundle now. When Jane and I went to the convention in March for Stampin' Up, and we got all the sneak peeks on the new catalog, this was one of the suites that they focused on, which means that they expect it to be pretty popular and pretty big. And it is nice to have a great masculine type suite that's going to help us with all of those cards that we need. Now, I know not everyone needs a Father's Day card, but we do a lot of masculine birthday cards, thinking of you cards, and I had a whole list of things that you could do with this suite, and I wanted to put in there, you could probably do graduation cards, and hi Patty, I miss you terribly. I hope I see you Saturday, but if not, sometime soon. And then I was thinking really cutely, I'm going to talk to you about the banners in a minute. So let's get over to my workspace. We're going to talk about this whole kit and caboodle here, and continue to say hi as you jump on, please. I love to know who's hanging out with me in the craft room. Thanks, Patty. I can't wait. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm going to really be talking about this little project right here more next Monday when I gather with you, but if you're not on my email list yet, you probably are going to want to be, because I'm going to give you the directions for this little, it's like a book style card holder. It's going to have a little Velcro closure, and we're going to be making this on Saturday with my Stampin' Stack. And then it holds cards inside. It also would hold envelopes. I just have the cards inside. And really sweet, very giftable. But I'm going to have the directions and how to make this in my email newsletter, not this Thursday, but next Thursday. So you've got a couple of days left to get on my newsletter to get that fun recipe, which I give out a nice recipe every Thursday. All right, so back to what we're covering tonight. So let me flip over to the, hi Barbara, I see Lori and Flo. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. We're gonna get over to my workspace now so that we can talk about what is happening here with this suite. Now you're gonna see I have the catalog open. It's fantastic, of course. This is on page 36, 37 of the annual catalog, Take to the Sky Suite collection, and we're really covering all of this tonight. So you've got the bundle, and I want you to remember that all bundles, all Stampin' Die bundles are on an extra sale. Now if you order it a bundle anytime, you save 10% rather than buying the stamp and the die separately. Automatically saving 10%. This month through the end of June, you're actually saving another 10% on top of that 10%. So it's a really good deal, Stampin' Die bundles. We're going to cover the paper. We're going to talk about the trinkets. We've got all these things. There's some fun samples here as well. So that is a little sneaky peek there at what we got going on. I'm going to show you the paper here really quickly. We are actually going to use these tags. Hopefully you can see this. We're going to use these tags here. And in your card kits, let me slide this way. I'm just checking out my camera now, which is in this sheet of 12 by 12. This is the 12 by 12 paper you get when you get the suite, or you can order the paper separately. I wanted to point out that these are really easy to cut apart, and it's super easy. You're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're going to get 12 tags when you get this paper, which is fantastic. Now, what's nice about this is it cuts right here. When you put this into your trimmer, you're going to cut 4 inches. So if you put this in and cut 4 inches,
It's not a hard measurement, right? You're going to get all these little tags just like this. And then if you cut them individually by 2 inches, this is what's really nice about this. They're all 2 inches, so they're easy cutting. So you're going to cut these apart by 2, and then I just took my snips and I trimmed up this little excess that's in between. And I've got some here, as you can see. One of them is going to be on my card. Some of them are going to be in your card kits. But I wanted to share with you how easy it was to cut these. I would recommend a paper trimmer rather than trying to just chop them up with your scissors by yourself, because it is really an easy peasy cut. I love that they did that. You also get on here, you get kind of some instant card fronts, really. So you've got extra things like that. Now, if you don't like any of those, you've got some airplane patterns on the back. Again, this is all about airplanes. So lots of masculine colors, copper clay, perfect for fall, if we're thinking ahead a little bit, which we don't have to, but you know. Here's another great map. This is mossy meadow paper. Loving all the blues. This is kind of like a tweed pattern. Let my camera focus for just a second. I love this one. This is a really fun one. I feel like this would be really fun with like the little ducklings, little animals and critters, little kids. It just looks like a really fun pattern on that. Again, another nice masculine, very basic smoky slate. This one has lots of little airplanes on it. Flipping it over. This is one of those topography type maps, again in the blues, and some more airplanes with the mossy meadow. And then the last one is, again, kind of a nice little, almost like a tile pattern, really, in smoky slate. And that is the Take to the Sky Designer Series paper. So I just wanted to share kind of a little bit about the paper as we're talking about the suite. Now, of course, we've got the Adventurous Sky dies and the stamp set. And I didn't even put this back together yet. Oh my gosh. Now you know my secret. When I take a picture of this to share it, I actually pull out the insert because the case gives such a glare in my light here. So I pull the insert out, pop it on top, Secrets of Julie's Craft Room, and then I take my picture on my work surface. So Adventurous Sky stamp is a cling stamp set, as you can see. We're going to be using everything tonight except for 2 sentiments, and there's lots of sentiments in here. We're making 4 cards. So we've got, what do we have? Probably 6 sentiments then, right? You always lift me up. To my friend, happiest Father's Day, right? Not happy Father's Day. Again, another nice play on words that we constantly have as a sentiment. Flying by to say hi, you're the best, plain and simple, and plain is spelled like airplane, P-L-A-N-E, and then happy birthday. And I love this font. This reminds me of the icing on birthday cakes, which makes me want to eat cake. Now we have 3 different size airplanes, which are really easy to color or leave plain. You have, and that's plain, P-L-A-I-N, in case you're paying attention at home. This is clouds, 3 different cloud sizes, and then you've got this really awesome little background here. And then you've got dies that coordinate. So your dies are going to cut out the 3 planes, the 3 clouds, and then you're going to have the extras. Now there's like a little banner here. This could be a sentiment piece, obviously. But also, when you coordinate it with this, you can get that the little banner that flies behind the airplanes at the beach that says, you know, like marry me, things like that, right? Which I thought would be a really cute card to make also, right? So you could just handwrite in your little message here if it's not on the stamp and gift that away. I thought that was super clever and cute. So we're going to be using the dies here tonight, the stamps, lots of the stamps. I will leave the dies out. Let's leave the dies out. We're going to do a little die cutting together as well. Now I did do up a sheet ahead of time. Again, I'm getting back to this. This is just a half a piece of cardstock. So I'm cutting my 8.5 by 11.5 at 5.5 wide and then 8.5 long. And I'm just taking the dies. This is boho blue. And I think that boho blue is the perfect blue for the skies with this white. So you can see the clouds. You can see the airplane where you're going to actually use the dies shapes. Here's your little banner right here, how cute, and then your 3 outline for the airplane. So that's kind of a look at that. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the class. So this week with me, $40 order. Just as always, you're going to get the 4 card kits. These are the card kits. I've already scored the card bases. So you're getting Misty Moonlight, Boho Blue, Mossy Meadow, and a Smoky Slate card base. These are all very masculine themed cards. Now I know that Father's Day, by the time you get these kits, Father's Day will be here and gone. But I also know that you use these for birthdays as well, right? So masculine themed, if you need to replenish your stash, masculine theme this week is where we're going. A $50 order is going to get you the 4 cards and the embellishment. Now the embellishment that goes with this suite is the industrial trinkets. And I want to talk to you a little bit about how heavy these are. These are heavy. They're like nickels. Like they're now probably not mail friendly, like mail as in M-A-I-L, put in the mailbox. Mail, M-A-L-E, sure, males are gonna love them. They look like little bolts to me on this side. This side is kind of like more of a candy look, but it's I think that it's going to be really hard to adhere down this kind of rounded side, so I've used them all as bolts. They would be interesting in a shaker card. They are pretty heavy. You don't get a ton of them, literally. You get 40 of these, and if you've gotten embellishments before, 40 is not a lot, and it's because they are so thick and heavy and big. They'd have to charge a lot more money if they wanted to give you like 80 or 120 or so on and so forth. This is your free gift though. With your $50 order, you get the 4 card kits and the embellishment with me this week using host code QN6BPKU9. This is good through Friday the 14th, the end of this week. All right, let's pop in now and let's get busy with our cards. I think this is the first one we're gonna do. Let me just make sure we still look good and everybody's jumping in. Hi Jennifer, nice to see you. Hi Linda. Yes, let's go someplace. Let's jump on a plane and go, right? Let me just tell you, first of all, jumping in planes and going places right now is not my favorite thing to do. I got stuck in Houston in March and it was awful. I'm not really a fan of flying right now. I'm not afraid to fly. It was just the whole thing with maintenance and delays, and then you got to rebook and stay overnight. So it was not fun. Not fun. These are the colors we're using this week. We're using Basic Gray, Basic Beige, Night of Navy, and Misty Moonlight. Oh, we're also going to use a little bit of Memento. So very masculine color palette. Our first card here. Now this is what comes in your card kit. Make sure you shake it out because there's usually little bits and bobs in the bottom, right? So there's like things that get hidden in there. Now, I want you to know that with this card kit, you are going to get an assorted tag. And remember from the beginning, if you missed the beginning, you can check it out or just look at the designer series paper. There are different designs, and I'm going to just pick one and throw it in your kit. Now, I'm going to show you some different looks with them too, so you can kind of see. But you're getting a Misty Moonlight base. You're getting some basic black. Now this is an embossing folder. This one is I wrote these down, metal plate. This is the metal plate embossing folder. It looks very masculine, right? It looks kind of like tire tread. You're getting a 2-inch circle punch, a 1 3/4 inch circle punch, a little bit of the baker's twine in the black, and you're gonna get a tag. So we're just gonna play with a tag tonight. We're gonna play with this one, I think. Let me show you what the card's going to look like. And here is our card. Now this first card we're doing has nothing to do with really airplanes at all. So it really is just a great masculine card. We're going to do a little stamping on the card base. We're going to play with the tag. I'm going to show you how to punch that little hole through there. We're going to do a little bit of stamping. So this one's very simple, not airplane. There's no airplanes on here. Now, could you put an airplane on here? You sure could. I think the little guy would fit the best. This is the smallest plane right here. I think he would be really cute. I mean, you could add in this airplane if you wanted to have a plane on all of your cards. But I wanted to do at least one card that did not have the airplane in it, just so you could kind of see, you know, ideas, right? Like maybe you're not into the airplanes, but you're getting the card kits because you're putting in an order to get the dies and the stamp sets at an awesome deal. And you're going to get the card kits and you're like, what am I going to do with these? I don't want to do airplanes, but you don't have to, right? You can substitute in all kinds of things. And then there you go. Now I'm going to start with Night of Navy ink. That's a darker color than my Misty Moonlight base. And I'm going to start with this kind of squiggly line stamp set. Stamp, I should say. We got an individual stamp. Checking to see which way my card opens because this is the top of my card up here. And I'm just going to kind of stamp a little bit here. And then I'm going to put one maybe right over here. So you can see how fun this pattern is. It just, hopefully you can see, just super cute. Now we're going to do the same thing down here on the bottom, and I'm going to start at the bottom, and then I'm going to do one kind of right next to it here, just up a little bit. Okay. Now some of them may not be lined up perfectly, and that's okay, because we're gonna detract from our perfect or not perfect stamping by putting on layers. I love to add lots of layers to my cards, so some of this is going to get covered up. So if these ones don't look perfect to me, I'm okay with that. I'm going to show you a secret. This was my first card that I made with a stamp set. So I started out with this, and I didn't like it, and then I did this, and I didn't like it. And then I did this and I liked it. So really, sometimes you just have to play, and it's not going to always be perfect right out of the gate. As you can see, it took me 3 tries to decide what I really liked, and then I figured it out. So when you see me stamp this and it goes on pretty nicely and you're thinking, what the heck? It's okay, because it takes me a few tries sometimes too. Now we're going to pull in this basic beige right here and the basic beige ink, and we're going to deepen down this embossed piece. I don't know if you can tell here. Hopefully you can see like a little bit of shading difference here. It may not pick up well on camera, but I always try, right? Okay, so I've got just a small blending brush and the basic beige, and we're just going to darken this down. Maybe if I do like half of it and then show it to you, you're going to see the difference here. Hopefully you can see the difference here now. So this is the top half that I've already shaded, and sometimes I like to flip it back this way and just kind of do the top again. So I feel like it's easier to do the top and come down toward me than to do you know, all the way down the length of it. But you can turn it however you like. But that's one of my little secrets, is sometimes if I'm doing the whole thing, I'll flip it halfway through and then start at the top again. So I feel like I'm kind of just repeating my process, which is awesome. All right, we're going to go ahead and adhere this to our mat. I can find some glue. I did not get my glue out. So I am a green glue fan. We're going to put some green glue on here, and we're going to mat this right to this basic black cardstock. I think the black cardstock really adds not only like just that really big pop of like bold color, but it also just kind of, it adds a little bit of sophistication too. That's how I feel about that. So this is going to come onto our card base with some dimensionals, and if you have them, this is fantastic, which I do, right? You're like, these are dimensionals, Julie. What's so fantastic about them? I'm going to show you here in a second. I'm going to do 5. Yeah, 5 feels good here. So these are the black dimensionals. So when you put them on your dark cardstock, they kind of disappear. Now, not a big deal if you have lots of, you know, things covering it up, but if they're going to be seen even a little bit, sometimes you want to try to like hide them a little bit so they're not like glaringly white on a black background. So the black dimensionals are really great for this. Again, of course, you don't have to have them. They're not imperative to have. So again, you're going to get tags, you're going to get different tags. So I'm just going to kind of play with these for a second so you can kind of see. This one is really cute because it's got airplanes on it. Now, if you don't like what you get, you've got this back side. You could flip it over and use the back. This one I meant to use on my original card. I actually stamped this already. I stamped this cloud here on the bottom because it was just kind of a plain gray, and then I sponged here on the side and then right here with the basic beige. So I already doctored this one up so it has a little bit more pizzazz to it because it was very plain. Maybe I'll doctor up one of these other ones and then we can kind of look to see what that's going to look like. We might use this one. This one is very similar to the one that I have on my card, right? It's the copper clay color, so you can see how nicely that goes together. And then there's this green one, which I really like the green one. If it's too tone on tone for you and you have this at home, just add some more ink to it. You can add other inks too. You can add blue to this. You can definitely add blue to this. We're gonna doctor up this guy though today, I think. So if you want to put a little hole punch through here, all I did was grab a generic like little hole punch, right? And I'm going to see if I can't line this up here inside the little circle, and it will take away some of the color around it, so it makes it a lot smaller, but you can hole punch that if you want to add some twine through there. Now you don't have to, but I am including a little bit of twine for you to do so if you like that. All right, let's stamp a few more things here. I'm gonna close up this one for just a second because I feel like my fingers will be in it. We're coming back in with Night of Navy, and we are going to find the stamp that we previously used here on our card front, and we're going to make a little pattern here on this white circle. So I'm just going to stamp, it's stuck, half of it there, and then I'm trying to remember if I think I flipped it upside down and went this way. I did, and it worked. There you go. So half and half. So it kind of gives you a really fun little pattern. Again, with this stamp that we used on our card base earlier. While we've got the Night of Navy out, I'm going to put the happy birthday on here. Let me find happy birthday. And of course you can put whatever sentiment you want on here. These are the cling stamps, so it's a little bit harder to line them up. So sometimes mine end up higher or lower than I want them to, but if they're straight, I'm happy. Okay, so we've got that stamping done. We're going to doctor up our tag just a little bit here because I feel like it needs something more. Actually, let's bring in, well, we'll use the cloud again. We'll use the cloud. This is Night of Navy. So this is a very gray tag. So I just want to add more to it. So it's got like a little bit more of some different things going on. I'm gonna get a little fancy here and add all kinds of clouds to it right now. Right off the bat, we're gonna add a bunch of clouds. And I'm gonna bring in my basic beige and we're gonna kind of grunge it down a little bit, right? So just a little bit here on the sides. Maybe that one right there. I'm gonna flip it upside down and kind of come in over here on this side. I'm not doing the whole thing. I do want it to look like multiple colors, and that hopefully will look nice on my card. Kind of like so. So that kind of blends in a little bit nicer too. Now this is going to go on flat, and then if I could find my string, we're going to put the string through. So how I did my string was I just looped it together, right? So you've got the closed end here and the two open ends right here. And I came in from the back side and pushed these two strings through the hole that I just punched. I really did this. This was easier off camera, right? Okay, so now that I have those there, here's my little loop. I'm just going to put these strings through my loop and then pull. Okay, so it's on there just like that. Okay, and if you need to like back this up and rewatch this 50 times, it's okay. I totally understand. We're going to glue this down straight on here. I feel like there's like a little goober of glue right there, which is now going to be stuck to my fingers for the rest of the night. Okay. Yep. There it is. See the fact? Okay, there we go. We're going to put this at a little bit of an angle on here. We're going to adhere together our little circle pieces. So again, this is the 1 3/4 inch punch with the 2-inch punch. So you could do the same thing with dies. If you have dies at home and you just want to try to recreate this card, there's lots of circle punches, dies. Use whatever works, right? We're going to pop this little circle piece up, again, using the black dimensionals on there, and we're going to put this, let me move my card in so you can see it better, right over here. And then Happy Birthday is going to come on here with a little, we're going to do a little trimming if I can find scissors. I'm going to just notch that slightly that way. It will look great. I'm going to put a white dimensional on this side, a little bit of glue on this side, and that should be perfect to kind of come across my card here and catch onto my circle. And the last thing we're going to do is add in one of those little trinkets. Now these little trinkets can be a little tricky to add in. They are not adhesive back. There's no adhesive on them. Now glue would work, green glue would work. However, it takes a bit to dry, and sometimes it gooshes out the sides, like obviously, right? If you've tried green glue. So after I did one with glue, I decided, no, I'm going to do the rest with tear and tape. Now tear and tape is stronger than a glue dot. So I just grabbed off a little piece of tear and tape, and I'm going to just grab off my paper. Now you can see that this is way longer. Hopefully you can see. I'm just going to roll this back over. So I'm kind of making a glue dot out of tear and tape, and I'm only putting one on here. And I'm only putting one on here because there's not as many, and also it's really heavy. Now if you really felt like you needed to do 3 of them or whatever, you could go ahead and do that too. But here is card number 1. So it's some different tag options, just to give you an idea. Very good masculine birthday card, I feel like. We're kind of like coming right out of the gate with really great masculine card. And it didn't take a lot to do. Very little stamping, just some nice bold colors. I feel like they're nice and bold. So let's see. Hi, Sandra Johnson. It's so nice to see you here. Okay, that's card number 1. Let me clean down real quick, and we are going to jump into card number 2. And we're going to book it along here. All right, so card number 1 is done. Now we're going to bring in card number 2. Now this one, again with the blues. I don't know. There's a lot of blue in this paper, and I was really feeling it. It's beautiful paper. Again, little bits and pieces in your envelopes. Check them all out. And you're going to have a card base boho blue. You're going to have a deckled rectangle piece a little basic beige, some of this beautiful copper. Now you could use the other side if you wanted to. A little blueberry bushel, some white, all kinds of good stuff here. And this is the card that we're making this time. Actually, this one I think is my favorite. I really like this one. So we're making the airplane where you just use the die cuts. No stamping on this plane at all. All the stamping we're doing is actually going to be the clouds and then the sentiment. But I really like this one a lot. So let's start out with this piece right here in the clouds, because really that's like the fun stamping part. And for this one, we're going to bring in, so we used Misty Moonlight cardstock last time. Now this time we're using Misty Moonlight with boho blue. So again, we're going up into a darker shade of blue to kind of complement what we got going on here. Now on this piece that you get at home, I do need to clean this up really quickly because I did use this in Night of Navy. So let me just make a quick adjustment here and scrub away here at my blue clouds. Does anyone ever notice that you get like a red tinge from blue ink? Is that crazy? I mean, I understand that there's different colors to make up each color, but I find it a little bit crazy that you get a red tinge. All right, so back to Misty Moonlight and our clouds. We're going to go ahead and stamp all three of our clouds here. These are so sweet. So you've got a big cloud, a medium cloud, and then like a baby cloud, right? So they're really cute clouds. I have noticed that as I'm stamping this cloud, I'm usually getting that little French line here on the back side, and it's because it's really easy to rock this one, and I have a lot of extra red rubber here at the top. The good news is I'm going to die cut these. If I was just putting these on paper, I would have to be way more careful and just stamp up and down like this and not rock my block and get that line, because that's how you're getting those lines. If you're rocking your block, the lines come in. So I just wanted to share that with you, and I've noticed it over and over. But we are going to die cut these. Again, there are 3 separate dies in here in your die set, right? So you're going to be able to do all 3 clouds on this one piece of paper, and I have die cut mine already just to speed things along a little bit. So here's the little die cuts. I want to point out that the bottom of them are kind of not straight, but they are straighter than obviously the swooshy puffy clouds at the top. There's a little bit of a varying line here, but it's kind of straight on the bottom, which is kind of cute. Now we are going to play with some ink here. This is Misty Moonlight. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my deckled rectangle, and I'm just going to bring in some shading here along. I'm going to turn my cardstock, so I'm working from the top toward me pretty much every time, right? And I'm going to come down this way all the way around, and I'm trying to stay within maybe an inch or so of the outside of my card. My little die cut here, these are the deckled rectangles, which I love. If you've been watching me for a while, you probably see that all of my card kits have, and like these ones will too, deckled rectangles, nested essentials, stylish shapes. I repeatedly use the same dies over and over, and on purpose, because I want to show you that there's a lot of value in those shape dies. I mean, they go with everything. So I'm constantly using them, not only because I love them, but because I want you to be able to see that you can use them all the time too. So here is kind of the shaded effect that we have going on, and because we didn't touch anything in the center, it kind of, the light draws you in, and it's just brighter there, and it's really cool with these little clouds. Now we're going to bring the clouds in. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to kind of just touch the tops of them, the outside edges a little bit here, just to shade and give us a couple of different colors. Now here's something fun that I found out, because I got kind of like, I was getting restless technically with the shading. I use the sponge daubers quite a bit too, so I decided I would try my blender brush as a sponge dauber, and it really does work. Like, you can just pick up some ink and just brush along. I mean, you're going to get pretty inky fingers, but the results are worth it. So we're going to just kind of do that with our clouds, and as we get smaller here, it does get a little trickier, but you can definitely, you know, use these blending brushes, and you can see that with the little you get like different shades of color when you blend that. I love these clouds. I think they're really fun. To be honest, this is probably my favorite part of this Stampin' die set is the clouds. I can see using these in quite a lot of things. You're probably going to see these in a lot of things. So little clouds. Super cute, right? And that was easy. Now on my original, I did stamp some clouds in the background of this piece, but then I covered them all up. So I thought, well, that was kind of silly. I got a little splotchy here, but I'm going to cover that up too. So there we have it. Now I'm going to go ahead and add on my deckled rectangle with some dimensionals. So we've got some height here. I do like to add lots of layering and lots of height, and it just adds lots of interest to the card as well. I might get a little more heavy here on these tonight. I'm just going to throw a few more on here. So you use these however you feel is best for your project, and just get those dimensionals on there. Okay. So this is going to come on here. This is going to cover up my little splotchy because it does open this way. So I'm going to make sure it covers it up, but this will center on here. And just by adding the difference in the shading and the height, it just really, it already has added so much to this card. All right, I'm going to close this one up. We're going to talk about the parts and pieces for our airplane. So you're getting in some parts and pieces, and we're going to die cut these because I didn't die cut these ahead. So I'm going to show you the die cutting process here real quick. If I can clear the desk. We're going to have to clear the desk here for a second. I'm going to bring in the die cutting machine. And I got the big guy on standby here, so we're just going to be using this one. All right, making sure we can see it. And so we've got base plate, the shim, a clear plate, and now we're going to put in our paper. And we're going to put in 3 different papers, actually. There's 3 parts to the airplane. I'm going to back this back out so you can see as I lay these down. We've got the body of the plane, which is going to be blueberry bushel. So there's that part. We have the... And I want to point out there's two different sections that kind of look somewhat similar. This is the one that's got some details in it that you want. This one actually cuts out the stamp. So the open one cuts the stamp, and then this one's going to cut the part that we need to add to the top of our airplane. And then the propeller is in basic beige, and that's going to cut out 2 propellers. I guess you could put 2 on at the same time and make it look like it's moving. I only used 1 though. I'm not sure what's right or wrong, but you know, it's fun to play, right? So you can definitely play at home too if you want to. So there's our 2 little propellers right here. They're kind of tiny. There's like 1 right there. So you can see that they are small. So we've got 2. We're going to try to not lose anything here. We've got our little blueberry bushel. There she goes. And then the airplane right here, you're going to see that as it comes off, it's going to have some parts and pieces, and it comes apart quite nicely. I think the only one that got stuck was that little piece right there. So, and 1 more down here. So you can see here the outline of that. So let me get rid of my scraps over here. And hopefully you guys are enjoying this class. I haven't checked any comments in a little bit, so hopefully everything is still going well. We'll pop over there in just a second, just to see if I can see what you guys are all up to as you're looking at my little airplane on there. Okay, sweet. Okay, I think we're good. I'm going to bring in my silicone mat for the gluing part because it's just going to be easier. I love these 2 colors together. Actually, before we pop this on, we're going to do this. Some basic beige, and we're going to kind of grunge down our little white here. Hopefully if I lay these up here, it's kind of side by side. You can see here that this is a little bit darker and this one is definitely whiter. So hopefully you can see that. And we're going to go ahead and add a little bit more beige to the white. And then just checking my camera again. So I'm going to kind of come this way. It's a delicate piece with lots of little sections to it. So you don't want to go back and forth. You'll probably wrinkle up your paper. I think I picked up some blue from my mat here, so I've got like kind of a darker green, which is fun. That's unusual. Didn't plan on that one, but it looks good. Now when I glue this on, I don't need to, let me bring in my sample. This top part right here is actually, it does not need glue on it. So we're just going to put a little bit of glue here, a little bit of glue here, maybe a little bit right here. So not a ton. And I'm gonna line up the wheels. I didn't even put glue on the wheels, right? It's small enough. It doesn't need it. But we're gonna go ahead and just lay this on top. And if we need more glue, we can always add a little bit more glue. I think I need to kind of, now I feel like it's on here a little crookeder than I want it to be. Okay, we're back to it. We're doing it here. Okay, so there we go. There's our little airplane. So you can see on the back side here, lots of white that doesn't need glue. And just these two pieces pretty much make the airplane work, right? I'm going to add just a tiny bit of glue here to the middle where the propeller needs to go. Close up the beige, and then we're going to add this little propeller on. Just one. So there's a good side and a bad side. So just kind of take a close look to see which side looks better for the die cut, because you want the prettier side facing up. I'm just going to pop that on there. So there's our little airplane with our little propeller. I'm not going to use the other one. And we're going to bring in our card base, and we're going to finish this card up. So we're going to put in our little clouds, and I'm going to do a quick dry fit. So I'm going to just kind of play with the clouds, see where I want them to go. I did kind of like the two smaller ones to the top, this one kind of toward the bottom, room for our airplane in the middle, and then we have this piece of paper, which we haven't worked with yet, and this one, You're the Best, Plain and Simple. So let's bring in You're the Best, Plain and Simple, and we're going to bring in the Misty Moonlight ink. So we're kind of keeping the continuity going here by not adding like tons of different colors of everything. So You're the Best, Plain and Simple. That worked out nicely. That's exciting when that works out so nicely. And what I did with this one is I trimmed a little bit this way. I'm going to go ahead and trim it. And then because I want to trim this other piece as well, I'm just going to lay this on top approximately where I might be gluing it. And then I'm going to turn my paper and kind of eyeball this angle that's right here. And I'm just going to go from the corner of the outside paper right here and kind of just up. So it's got that same kind of cut to it. So that was my way to get that on there, and so that would work. Now these little clouds, I'm just gluing them down flat on here. I will pop the airplane up. I want the airplane to have some prominence as well. So I want to just make sure that my bottom clouds are on here with enough room so that when I put my other paper on here, you can still see them. So we're just going to add a little bit of adhesive here, pop this on. I did not bring this all the way to the bottom. I wanted the bottom to still show. And this will kind of go off the sides of the deckled rectangle as well. So you can kind of see that, right? That's just, all of these little things just add interest. And I'm going to line up my sentiment piece so that the edges of the sentiment piece are in line with the edge of the designer series paper. We're going to add in the top clouds here with some glue. And of course, if you wanted to pop these all up on dimensionals, you could do that too. I can get hold of this little guy right here. We'll be good to go. So this is card number 2. The first card also featured blue, and this card again features lots of blue. I'm going to put some dimensionals here on the back of my airplane. One here, and then one here. So 3 dimensionals. These are the big ones. I use the big dimensionals way more than the small ones. I think on the last card I actually used big dimensionals and then trimmed one down for a smaller airplane. All right, so this guy's going to come on here. You can put him like a little bit of an angle if you want, like he's lifting off, going upwards. You can put him on here however you want, but there it is. So plain and simple, right? I just really like this one. This one makes me happy. I like this card. This might be my favorite. I'm not sure. And then I changed my mind. So we've got 2 done. So we've got these 2, like, right? We have the blue cards. Very masculine, very perfect for, you know, guide cards. 2 cards in, we got 2 to go. We're going to change gears a little bit though, because I thought after 2 cards, we really don't need another blue one. We need something with another color. So this one is green, and this one is also, I don't know, I really like this one too. Let me grab out the kit so you can see Mossy Meadow. We're using some grays here as well. So you're getting, again, Nested Essentials die cut, some white, some designer series paper. And I wanted to show you that depending on what cut of the paper you're getting, you may be getting something that's more elaborate like this one, or you may be just getting something that's a little bit more plain like this one. So depending on which section you get of the designer series paper, we've got a really great embossing folder. This is another new one. This one is called, let's see if I can find it, Dashing Designs. Dashing Designs. it's definitely interesting. And it looked like it looked a little masculine to me as well. So this is the card that we're making. Let me bring the card in so you can see. This one is actually going to feature the big airplane, and we're going to do some color pencil work on this one. And we're taking advantage of the large cloud die, and we're actually going to stamp right inside of it. I did use 2 of those little oh, I didn't do that on the last card I just did. I forgot to put on my embellishment. I put one right here, and I'll go through and add that later. You saw how I put it on the first one. If you didn't, you'll probably see me do it on other cards. I don't want to go backwards right now. We're going to continue forward motion here. So this is just going to come down here. We've got green on green. Now I didn't sponge this down to make it darker. You definitely could. I felt like the pattern on here was bold enough that it just worked really well. I'm going to flip this over actually, and we've got this piece good to go. So I just want to share with you, I'm going to just kind of assemble some of this together and show you the bones of your card kit, basically, right, before you add the airplane, so you can see what you're doing with the kit no matter what you're going to put in there. So you will be getting a piece of paper, because I use kind of paper here that has just less lines. I wanted to see what it would look like if I use this section of the paper. So we're going to try this one this time. Oh, and look at this blue. If you like blue and you want to do something with, you know, get some more blue in there instead of all this green, 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 go. You have this for the bones of your card. This is the bones of your card kit. You could design from here if you wanted to, using either the blue or the green. I really like the green, so we're sticking with green for this one. And probably I'm feeling that too, because I've just used so much blue in the last 2 cards. I was like, I'm done with blue for a little bit. I think I wanted to change it into, you know, different new colors. So here we go. This is just all coming on here flat. Part of your card kit. Voila, right? And then you've got this piece right here, and then your pieces for your airplane and your clouds. So this one right here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring in, let's see, basic gray. Now this is smoky slate, this is basic gray. So we're gonna sponge in some darker color so it's not tone on tone. And again, we're gonna start at the top here. I probably should flip my paper over because I'm probably picking up a lot of blue here. And I'm just kind of working it in here to the outside edges, and it really does darken this down a lot because it's not the tone on tone. It's more aggressive than tone on tone. And I thought for a masculine card, like a stronger card, you don't necessarily want soft, right? You want kind of those bold, it almost looks black. And I love that by not touching the center, again, it just kind of draws your eye down into it. And that's all we're doing with that. So oh no, I probably should cover this up. No, I should leave this open. This is not rehearsed. This is just me creating kind of live with you. We're actually going to do some stamping and some die cutting. So let's get going here with this gray, the basic gray, and we're stamping our big airplane with that. I just totally lost my train of thought. So like if you're watching me and going, what is she doing? Just losing my train of thought. Totally, that's all I'm doing. So there's our big airplane, super sweet. I'm going to cover this up. We're going to do our die cutting, and then we're going to color and move on with this card. Let's bring in the machine again and set up so we can do our outline of our airplane, which is this nice big die right here. As you can see, that goes right on the outside. Now with the other piece of paper, we're bringing in the cloud die. Now on our last card, we stamped the cloud image and then we die cut it. I didn't die cut it with you live, but I had die cut it previously. And this time we're just getting a nice white cloud. Just all it is the outline of a cloud. So you can, that's the beauty part of these stamps too. If you just want white clouds, you can stamp, you know, the 3 different size clouds and you are good to go. Let me get my scraps off of there. And we're going to get going on the rest of this one. So on the basic gray, with the basic gray ink, I should say, let me bring this back in, flying by to say hi. So there's some puns here in this stamp set. We're just going to stamp right in the middle of this, and the clouds will take different sentiments. You'll be able to fit different sentiments in there. Happy birthday would fit in there, to my friend. All kinds of them are going to fit in there. So that's kind of the cool thing about that. Now with the coloring and the pencils and so on, let me grab them out real quick. So watercolor pencils, I don't use them very often because I do like the blends. So I've just grabbed out a few of them. So I've got the watercolor pencils. You get all kinds of colors here. It lists them on the back. So you get a nice little set here, a little different colors. This is pretty simple coloring here for this airplane. I'm just going to start out with the green, which is my airplane. So I'm just going to layer in, and you don't have to color it super hard because the blender pen is going to kind of come back through, and it's going to help you to, oh, I think I just colored something I didn't want to color. It's going to help you to soften up those lines is where I'm going with all that. And we're just trying to see where we can get here with this little bit of coloring on here without being super crazy. All right, so the green, and I'm going to hold up the card too here so you can kind of see the green that I've colored here. I was supposed to leave the biplanes white, and I got a little bit on there, but that's okay. I'm actually going to color a little bit of white over it. It's going to just look like it's just a little bit messier. So the white doesn't really show up super well, but it does add just the tiniest little bit of tone to it. So this is the gray, and I'm just going to kind of come through here and do the motion here on the propellers. And then I'm going to bring in, I think this one is called Early Espresso. So I'm going to do a little bit here in the middle on the front of the nose of the plane, and then kind of coming down for the wheels on both sides. And you know, I didn't color that on the other one, and then this could probably use a little color here. So if, as you look at this, you can kind of, it's hard at first because this is kind of like kind of the sketched lines. So it's kind of hard at first to see what needs to be colored until you actually figure out what's what. Oh, and I didn't do these cross lines right here. So I'm going to just add a little bit of this espresso, and you can, you know, add in as much as you want, basically. All right, so once you're done with that, you're going to bring in these are the blender pens. You get a set of 3 of these when you order them. There's like a kind of a wet ink inside of these, and I'm going to start with the gray, and I'm just going to rub this along, and it's going to soften those pencil lines and kind of shade them in. It's going to move those pencil lines around, which is really nice too. I just kind of touched the brown here, so we're just going to move right into brown, because then you can go from a lighter to a darker, but you can't do darker to lighter. So I've done a couple of colors on here. I'm going to bring my scrap back in. So to clean in between, you have to scratch off whatever color the tip has picked up. So you can see down here, it picked up some of that brown. And now we're just going to come in here and do the green part. So you have to clean the tip in between colors, unless you're going from a really light color to a darker color. And just some kind of quick scribbly motions really for me, because I'm not too detailed about my coloring. That is a fact. Now if I clean this off, you're going to see a little bit of green here on my scrap. So just roll this around a little bit and make sure you have all of the sections, you know, kind of cleaned off there. There are 2 ends, so if you're doing a project and you want to take advantage of using both ends at the same time, you can. Just clean them in between. And there's our little airplane. So just like that, we have our airplane. A little bit of quick coloring, because I am a quick color fan. And then we're going to finish up our card by putting the rest of this together. So this piece right here is just going to go down flat, and we're going to set it kind of off to the side over here. Hopefully everything's in camera and you can see. Okay, we're going to bring it back in some dimensionals, and I am running out of dimensionals. Not like, oh yeah, I am. I'm going to be pulling some, I think, from the edges here with my snips. So I'm going to use these sideways dimensionals. We're going to come, actually that works right there. And then maybe we'll use a little guy here. Sometimes these side ones are the handiest things, like if you're trying to fill in little cracks and crevices, it works. Of course, I always use up my big ones, my regular ones, the regular hexagon shaped ones. I use those up first before I get creative with the rest of them. So this is going to come in here off to the side. We're going to put our little our little sentiment cloud, which I think is really kind of cool, that you can stamp inside the sentiment. Stamp the sentiment inside the cloud. That's where I'm going with that. And there we go, right? So here's our little cloud kind of coming up through here. Super cute. So again, I kept my elements inside the top and bottom of this, so you can still see the bottom, still see the top. They're off a little bit, you know, and at an angle, which is nice. Gives it a little bit of interest as well. So it's always fun to play with, dry fit with your card parts and pieces, right? Dry fit them, see where you like them to go, and there you have it. We're going to bring back in our tear and tape. So if you've just popped on and you're wondering how I'm going to put down these industrial trinkets. These are called industrial trinkets. I probably have enough tear and tape here for 2. Let's try it. 2. So I'm just going to get fussy with a little bit of tear and tape. I preferred that over glue. I think a glue dot might not hold as well. And glue dots are bouncier. Like the tear and tape is flatter. Okay, I think I have that off of there. I do. And then the tear and tape you can kind of roll up upon if you need to. Upon each other, into each other. And the fussy part here, of course, is just getting the backing off. And hopefully I can manage this one too. And the tape is on there, and there we go. So now there's 2 on this one. I felt like 2 would be good. Now, if you wanted to, if you really like, if you're like, I have to have 3 on there, I would probably put a 3rd one up here. So you have your little triangle. But because this it's heavy, these are heavy little trinkets. Wait till you get them in your hands to check them out. They are really interesting. So this is card number 3 with the greens. Hope you guys love it. I kind of messed that up there. I might go back in later and add some color to this, the wings here, just because I don't like that part right there. I'll figure that out. I will do something clever and creative, because that's what we do, right? There is always fixing up on the cards. Okay, so that's card number 3. Let me just check to make sure you guys are still with me. I haven't fallen asleep yet. Hi, Amy. It's Let's Fly Away indeed. You guys are doing great. Okay, just wanted to make sure you're still hanging out with me. And we are going to go into, Janice likes the green. Thanks, Janice. I do too. All right, so our last card is, we're moving into some gray areas here on the last card. And I say that because really we're using a lot of grays for this one. Now there are options, because this side of the designer series paper has green, so you could, if you wanted to. That's cute too. Oh my goodness. This has me thinking already. All right, so you're getting a card base. This is Smoky Slate. You're getting some basic gray pieces. These 2 pieces are cut out. They're die cut with the Stylish Shapes dies. Again, my favorite. So is this little banner. These come to you die cut. There's the stitched edging on all 3 pieces, all from the same dies. This is an embossed piece, so swirly embossing folder. I think I showed that to you guys last week too. And this is our last card of the evening, so in case you wanted to check it out, this one is Blender Stampin' Blends coloring, which is my favorite, and I pulled in some bright, like obviously blue, because there's blue and gray in the card, but a bright pop of yellow to make it more fun, right? And so that's going to be our last card here. So we're going to start really simple with, again, the bones of this card kit, and we're going to add in some adhesive on our white embossed piece. Now this piece right here is the same height as your card base, so it's 5.5 tall. So it's meant to go top to bottom. So if you open it up, it shouldn't hang out. It shouldn't hang out. This is not a hanger joke either. It should actually just fit nicely on your card front. That's where I'm going with that. So it should fit on there just very nicely like that. You've got these 2 gray panels right here, 2 columns, right? Kind of, again, masculine themed, kind of a card. I just want to play for just a second and see if I wanted to do green, what would it look like? What would it look like if I flipped all of these? Not that this is stitched correctly this way, but it is really kind of cute. I just want to see. Now, obviously, it's not going to quite go with my airplanes, so I'm going to stick with the blue side. But maybe I'll change it to the green just to see if we like it better tonight. This is going to be my swap. Usually, I actually haven't done a swap up in quite a while. I haven't swapped my designs, and so I'm feeling it tonight. I'm feeling it with the greens. I feel like this little green paper right here. We're going to follow through and see if the green looks better, just to see. So I'm going to put the adhesive on the gray instead. And we're going to put the green facing up. Okay. I like when the designer series paper allows us to make changes like this. It's just fun. Now, if you wanted to be really rebellious, we probably could have kept one in the original color and changed one to green. We could have had one of each on here. I didn't even think of that until like right now. So there's even more options, right? So I'm just going to pop these on here side by side, leave a little bit of room. I left less space on the left, a little bit more space on the right. That's just my choice. You can put these on here however you want. We're going to definitely, I love this piece right here though. I think my Thursday recipe that I'm going to give you for free in your newsletter will be using this designer series paper, just to peek ahead, right? So you'll get a bonus recipe from me in your newsletter on Thursday using this great little bundle. And I used to come on and do a fun fold on Thursdays and give you the recipe, but right now I'm keeping things a little bit simpler in my life, and I'm just giving you a nice little recipe, just something different. Now, if you order the card kits with your order special for this week and you get the card kits, you also get the recipes for all of the cards I'm sharing with you tonight. So that's another bonus too, as you get those. So this is the bones of your card. Now again, you still have this little sentiment piece here. And then if you weren't adding these die cut airplanes and adding something else instead, it just gives you an idea of what you can do with your card kit just by putting together the parts and pieces that I have kind of created to lay out nicely. Now this piece right here, we are going to stamp our medium and our small planes in the Memento black ink. And we're using the Memento ink because we're going to color these with the blends. I just want to make sure I have some good coverage here. There's that one. And here's our little guy. So you have enough room on this paper to do both. Plenty of room on there to do both, as you can see. And we're going to color these quickly. I'm going to bring in my favorite coloring tools of stamping blends. I got to grab them out. They're all in a pile behind me here. All right, so I am using the smoky slate, and I'm going to use the dark for the wheels on both of them. And covering up the wheels here. The little guy's wheels are really tiny, but there we go. And then I'm going to do the light smoky slate for this little kind of the look of the spinning blade right here, right? The fan it goes kind of around in a circle here. So we're just going to do that. And I probably should have just been a little bit less generous with that color so I could get more of the plane in there, but we're going to work, we're working with it tonight. We're going to bring in the dark daffodil. And we're going to color, I like the bigger one in yellow, right? Because it's brighter and fun. So we're going to do the kind of like the top of it in the dark. I mean, obviously you can change it up and do however you want. We're going to do the wings, the top wings here in this color. And then we're going to do the bottom wings here in this color. And then I'm going to add a little bit of, I'm just going to add some yellow here on these little lines. We're really yellowing up this little, oh, actually, and I forgot, the little nose part here is going to be that as well. And then we're going to bring in the light yellow, and we're just going to finish this off. So easy, right? So there we go, right, just like so. And I kind of went crazy with the shading there, but you get the idea. And then we're going to do the same thing over here, but this time we're going to go opposite. So I'm going to start with the light blue, and I'm going to do the top in the light blue. So this is the back, the tail here, and then we're going to do, looking at this, how did I do this? I did the body in the darker color, and the bottom here as well, a little bit on the side. And then the dark, this is the dark boho. I should have said this is boho blue. So we've got boho blue. Actually, I think I did this opposite. It really doesn't matter. You could color them all exactly the same if you wanted to as well. So just the fact that you're getting some color in here, you know, some blues, some yellow, simple coloring. It doesn't have to be complicated at all. You could use the Stampin' Up markers as well if you wanted to. You don't have to use the blends. Those are the colors that I chose though for my card. I'm going to cut this apart before I die cut this. Oh, and we need to stamp To My Friend. So let's bring the basic gray back in. And To My Friend is going to come right on here. With any luck, we're going to get it on here beautifully. It's a little bit crooked, but I think we're okay. We're reaching to the end of our class here. And I hear outside my craft room door, I have a cat scratching that really wants to come in. She says, hey, your class must be over. Would you like to come in? Come downstairs and feed me, please, is what she's saying. So I'm going to be going down after this class is over. I have a cat that needs some attention. So we're going to go ahead and die cut our small and medium planes. We just have these little outline dies, which work out perfectly. I think a red plane would be super cute too, right? What other plain colors would you use? Like the blue one probably gets lost in the sky, doesn't it? I didn't think of that when I was coloring. I was just thinking of the colors of my card, but the yellow is cute for sure. Red would be nice. Maybe an orange. I've never seen a purple plane, but I'm sure that anyone that's a fan of purple may think that purple planes should be a thing. All right, so to put this one back together, all we're going to do is add some dimensionals to the backs. So let me flip them over, bring in my dimensionals one more time, remembering that we're using parts and pieces here, which may be perfect. I'm just going to chop some up here. So for my little plane here, we're going to just use a little piece there. And maybe, oh, there, that one just kind of flopped right off of there. We're going to use this one. So there's for my little plane. Pop this on here and dry fit him. They're really cute popped up. I really do like how these little planes have turned out here for these card kits. Okay, there's that guy, and then we need something for the sentiment. So let's see, what have I got here for my sentiment piece? I chopped up quite a few nice pieces here. There we go. All right. This is the dimensional scrap card class today. We're just using scraps and scraps of dimensionals, but you know what? You pay for the whole sheet, you might as well use it, right? All right, so the To My Friend is going to come down here at the bottom, like so. And then, cleverly, we can actually kind of wrap the wheels. Hopefully you notice that little detail. These wheels come down over top of the sentiment, kind of like tucked around it. So I just thought that was super cute. Let's move this guy out of the way and we're going to wrap this down in here again just to see how he fits on here. It's like playing with Hot Wheels, right? So I kind of tucked it behind a little bit and have the wheels coming down. I just thought that was super cute and fun. Just clever ways to use this. Now on the first card, when I said you could add a little plane, I'm just going to bring this in just to kind of show you. You could add a little plane in here if you wanted to, right? You could add this in on this card. Hopefully you can see that. But this is actually coming on this card. And I added the 2 embellishments over here. So there we go. So I need to know if you like the green or the smoky slate version better. I kind of like the green better. I'm glad I flipped the paper. All right, so let's take a quick look. This obviously not embellished yet, and I will add those in later, but I know that class is running a little long here, so I don't want to keep you too late. So here's card number 1 in case you came in late. Birthday card, no airplanes. Card number 4 has 2 airplanes in it. Card number 3, this is one that had our greens in it. This one was our watercolor pencil. And then this one, I really love this one. This one might be my favorite. So here are the card kits that I'm offering this week. You're getting one of each with your $40 order, and then you're getting the embellishment if you bump it up to $50. And there we go. Card class complete. So I did it. So Janice, like, oh, you guys are liking the smoky. Wait, Jan, okay, I'm confused. Yes, Janice likes the smoky and Barbara likes the smoky. Interesting. That's where I went the first time through. Yep, you guys are liking the gray better. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I'm glad that I tried the green though, because I like the green, and you just never know, right? And really, when we're making our cards, it's more about the recipient that we have in mind. What would they like, right? So when you have, especially with a masculine card, because we're not just making masculine cards just to make cards, right? We're making them with a specific purpose, usually. So depending on your recipient, you might be like, yep, gray, yep, green. But I'm glad you guys are voting, because that makes me happy that you are checking it all out. So that is our card class today. It is just about 9 o'clock, which is awesome because I really want to keep these at about an hour. Thanks for hanging out with me and checking out this Take to the Sky adventure class, right? Come back on Thursday, or I should say don't come back on Thursday. I'm not going to be live, but check your email on Thursday and you'll get a bonus card recipe in there as well. I'll be sharing pictures of these online on my Facebook page all week, so you can kind of check them all out. If you guys have any questions on anything that I
tried out in this class tonight, please leave in the comments. I always read them. I don't always reply to all of them, but they always make me smile. I love it so much. So thanks again for hanging out with me. I will see you guys next time. Kathy likes the gray. The gray is the thing. You're welcome, Flo. Thank you so much. I will see you again for another card class in the future. Until next time, stay inspired, create something beautiful, share the love, everybody. Bye.